So we are going to work on the orchids that came from Orchids and More, and they were rootless or with very bad root systems. I didn't really had time to work on them before today. I am super busy. Tomorrow I have an exam. I am feeling really bad. Like here I have some let's say rehydration juices, something anyway, and yeah. First, here we have my Cattleya maxima, and if you remember, I told you she has a sheet. Well, the buds are indeed active. I did split this sheet because I was curious if this one is still green or if it was dead, because this sheet was drying up, and indeed we do have two lovely buds. So I want to save those, make sure they don't blast. So here I have my pruners. I will use the pruners today because that is what I feel like. They have been staying in alcohol. Now I am flaming them. So I will start from the back where usually, or you know what, I will put some water in here to soak them a bit. Just for a few seconds, so I can better see what I'm doing. This is a very good thing to do before you actually work with the orchid, but as I said, I am super busy, so I am not really doing all the things properly right now. Alright, so here in the back of the orchid, of course, everything is very much dead. I even can see fusarium in here, guys, which is sad. This part is purple. I'm not sure if it shows on camera, but anyway, I will treat this one for fusarium. When you see a purple ring on your orchid rhizome or stem, that doesn't really necessarily means that the infection is active. It might be that it had fusarium in the past and it was cured. That is to be established after you actually see how the orchid grows, because you cannot really put the diagnosis of fusarium to an orchid only with this symptom, let's say, but you also need to take into account if the orchid has very bad roots, but not only that, the old roots died. In this case, this orchid is coming from Peru, and it stayed a lot of in transport, so that might be the cause. Also, a lot of the roots were snapped, so that makes the roots of a Cattleya be really prone to dying off. Usually Cattleya roots, after they have been slightly damaged, they will kill off. So that might be the cause of this orchid having very bad roots. But what you want to take into account when you put the diagnosis, it is to have it for a few months into your collection and actually watch the new roots. If the new roots have or get black tips, if they die very soon, if your orchid seems weak, if the pseudobulbs don't grow properly, or they seem wilted, she presents stunted growth, the growths get smaller and smaller, the leaves get very dehydrated also, because even though the orchid has roots, they cannot hydrate through the rhizome. So there are many things to take into account when you see the purple ring. For example, in my case, I have here the smallest, or here the smallest pseudobulb, but this, the newest one, is the biggest one, and it is also producing a sheet. So I don't really have all that many reasons to believe that this orchid has fusarium at this point. But I will closely watch it and apply a fusarium treatment on it. So if the infection is very new, I will completely stop it, and if she was infected in the past, well, the infection surely will not reoccur. Or at least these are my thoughts on the issue. And to check the roots of a Cattleya to see if they are alive, you can just gently press on them. If they feel hollow or mushy, these ones are papery, for example, they are dead also. When you pull away, you will see a string remaining behind. This is the velamin, this is the actual root. When the root is alive, the velamin won't come off, and this little string, the actual root, will be green, which is quite nice. I actually have a root tip, guys, which is amazing. I will show to you in a moment. Which means that my pretty orchid will survive, because I will make sure that root will survive, of course. I will also clean the sheets from the base, because they can harbor pests, and also they can inhibit new root growth activities. So I am always cleaning off the dead sheets. They have no reason for being on my orchid. Quite often after I am doing this, I am seeing a lot of new root growth activities, so this is what I am doing. This orchid definitely has more room to grow roots, which is nice. Okay, so here is the little root tip that I was telling you about. It is a bit black on this side, but I hope it will survive. I also am going to spray this orchid for snails or snail eggs, because if any of those eat that root tip, we are screwed basically. So that is what we should do. I'm trying to clean all the dead materials from here. I am seeing here a new growth or a new root, I am not really sure. So this is why you really need to be very, very gentle. Okay, so at this point, what I want to do, it is to go to the sink and shower a bit the orchids, so the rest of the dead materials can get washed off, and then I will spray the orchid with hydrogen peroxide. Okay, so in here I have some hydrogen peroxide 3%. And I will spray really well all the base of the orchid. So if there are any snails, they will die. Even the snail eggs. This is also a good fungicide. And I will let the orchid fizz for a few minutes, time in which we will go to the next orchid. I will put it in its pot where she has stayed ever since I bought it. And now we will going to work with the stanhopea connata. This orchid is also very dehydrated. She has a ton of dead roots, but ever since I bought her, she is also producing some new roots, so I will need to be extra careful with her. I will put her a bit in water to soak the dead roots and make sure they change the color so I see them better. Okay, I think this is enough. We will sterilize again the scissors or the pruners. And now gently cut off whatever we can. I won't really go very far into cutting these roots, or better said, very close to the pseudobulbs, because this orchid still has some good roots in there, and I want to make sure I leave a few 3-4 centimeters at the base so they can branch off. Look, for example, this root was dead and I really didn't realize, so that is what I was telling you about. If you make a mistake and you cut on a live root too close to its base, she cannot branch anymore, but if you cut it a bit lower down, she can branch out. So I really find very boring to repot orchids with thin roots like stanhopeas. Really boring. Also, when you have such an orchid, you will need to apply a higher quantity of hydrogen peroxide so it can really go in between the pseudobulbs in every single crevice. I had cases where I didn't apply enough of it, and there were some snails or snail eggs which were left behind, and later on, after 1 month, let's say, I did discover that I didn't did a good job in sterilizing it. So you should avoid that if you can. By the way, a very good tip, I think, to save money with hydrogen peroxide, because I really use a lot of it, it is to go to a pharmacy which has a laboratory and ask them to produce some for you at a higher concentration. In Romania, in pharmacies, you cannot really find hydrogen peroxide on sale at higher dosages than 3%, but if you specifically ask them to do for you, they will, and that for me came out more cheap. I did ask them to do some hydrogen peroxide at a 10% concentration, and I end up paying 50 RON. That would be like 13 euros, let's say, maximum. And if I would have bought it at a 3% concentration, I would have paid, let's see, I would have paid, I think, even 10 times more. So yeah, it is a lot cheaper if you buy it at higher concentrations, and then to dissolve it and make it 3%, I did a mathematical calcul very easy, and dilute it with water. Again, this is a very fussy orchid when it comes to repottings, and by this I mean that the orchid hates her roots to be disturbed, and that the slightest damage to the root will die. And yeah, she is like that, but she smells gorgeous. I think this is pretty much all I will do for now. I will go now to the sink and I will shower the orchid, and I will come back to spray it. But I think I will do this off camera. It's not really all that interesting. But yeah, she does have a few root tips, which do seem quite good. So she will survive. Now the last orchid for this video will be my Cattleya Rex. I don't think this orchid has any root which is alive, but I will try to save it if she can, if she has it. Right then. But I am pretty certain that once she will go into pot with moss, she will produce new roots from this new growth. They all seem though pretty hollow. So when you are not sure if the root is dead, that even after you press or pull of the root, you can just cut from close to close. Closer and closer to the base, and that way you will save many troubles. Okay guys, unfortunately my camera got out of battery, but now we are ready to finish up the repottings. So let's see, I think I will start with this Cattleya Rex now. I don't need this here anymore. I will put her for now in a pot with some green moss. This is the green moss we have recently prepared together, and I will take some of it. I'm looking for smaller pieces because it is really no need for the biggest ones, and I will put it like so in the pot, put the orchid on top and add a bit more, as easy as that. And the orchid will stay in this moss until it will get roots of about 10 centimeters in length, and then I can safely put her in semi-hydro. If I would put her in semi-hydro right now, she will just dehydrate too much, so I am doing what I can, let's say. I'm looking for her tag, and this is pretty much all. She is stable, she will get rooted in the moss. I will keep the moss constantly moist, and yeah, she won't stay in too much of a bright light nor a too hot environment, about maximum 25 Celsius and maximum oncidium light, because she is dehydrated and without roots, so she's not getting into Cattleya light yet. Now we will put here my Maxima Rex. Let's see. She does have some good roots, so I won't even put her in too much moss, only for the roots to grow a bit more, because then she will go sooner than the Cattleya Rex into semi-hydro. This one already has root tips. I really like to use green moss, and it's super easy for me to collect it from the forest. A bit harder to clean off, but in time I did get my strategy, let's say, better, find easier ways. Let's see, a tray. All these pots and trays have been sterilized before using them. So here she is. She will go into pretty bright light because she does have these two buds in here, and I want them to develop properly, and also she does have some roots, so this one can get a bit more light than the other one. Now we will work with the stanhopea. This one does push up spikes from the bottom of the pot, which means that she needs to be in a basket, but because she is not yet properly rooted, I will first put her in this pot, and then later on, when she will have more roots, she will get transferred into a very big basket, but only after she will have more roots. Till then she can stay in here. A very interesting thing with this moss is that it is really promoting new roots to grow. Really like this thing. I am using this moss quite let's say even a bit soggy right now, but it is alive, so it also absorbs water, not only the plant. Here she is. This one will go into pretty low light. Stanhopeas don't need a lot of light, so I will put her next to my zygopetalums, let's say, maybe and they are intermediate to cool growers, or at least mine. I have two stanhopeas, yeah, and they don't need a lot of light, so I will put her on the floor tiles because those are less warm. That is actually the coolest place I can give her. And now we will work with the small division. You didn't see me doing this, but here I have my Cattleya cross. It is an Aklandi crossed with, read it yourself. This is supposed to make really beautiful blooms, spotted ones. And I have discovered I have two plants in the same pot. So mine will get potted into semi-hydro, and the one which will go for sale will get potted into bark. So here I have some bark, and I will put some into the small pot. I have a tray in here. So the little cakey has roots, and it's not a cake, it's a division. And it has a new growth in here, so I think in the past it was from the same plant, but back bulb died, and then the plant gets separated into two divisions. So That must be what happened there, but I am happy because I will have one more plant for sale. This is pretty much all. Super easy. This one needs to get watered because the bark is dry. And the pot has been sterilized, even though you see some residue on it. It doesn't matter really. So now we will work with the bigger division. I will fill up the reservoir with pebbles. Like so. I don't want to put the old roots from bark directly into the reservoir, so this one should stay pretty much like this. And now I will add the rest of the pebbles. I hope I am in frame. If not, I will bring you a bit closer. Oopsie. Yeah, doesn't matter. I will arrange her again. What I want to do is to put the oldest bulb as close to the rim of the pot as possible, because if you put it like this on the side, the new growths will have a lot of room to grow. And there it is. It might seem that it is a bit leaning on one side, but the next pseudobulbs will grow on this side, so I do have quite a lot of space. I might even had to use a smaller pot, but if I would have used that, the roots would have go into the reservoir, and I wanted to prevent that. Also, this orchid will go outdoors and she will absolutely love the light. She will grow fast. This type of orchid with this parentage grows very fast. The pseudobulb is mature in maximum 3 months, so that is very fast. So alright guys, this has been the video for today. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I will be more than happy to answer them for you. Thank you very much for watching and see you all next time. Bye!